Hi, my name is Dr. Brandy. Today I'm going to be conducting um, Fiorello's interview. With me supervising, I have DCP Miss K in the back over there. So before we get
No,
started,
I
do you have
don't
any
have any
questions,
question.
Fiorello?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, awesome. I just need you to do one thing. I just have to verify your macros real quick. If you could please
Sure,
throw those up, just so I can make sure you have them.
sure. That's the only I have. That's the only I have.
Is that all you have? 1 second. Okay, awesome. So, first of all, like I said, we are going to be conducting an interview. First, I'm going to be starting off with the HP, MD, and RP rules. So, we're going to start with the HP rules. You're not going to resuscitate any patients in any street around the hospital, territory zones, or army base. So, when you are doing those emergency calls, what I like to do is I like to just once I accept one, I click the map, it'll show you if it's anywhere near the army base, the hospital, any street touching the hospital, or those guns with the flag, orange guns with the flags hanging off of them, you're never going to go to those. You are not going to attend any PvP territory events without a rank 7 or higher. That's going to be your open coat blue shirt. You do not treat patients with their weapons drawn. Also, if they're emoting, that also means typically 9 times out of 10 they also have a weapon. We will not do that either. You're not going to stand or sit on the main lobby floor. Always make sure you're behind a desk or down the hallway. Do not stand on any back bush or surrounding hospital areas to chill or take breaks. If you want a break or just a minute, you can always ride around the city. You can go to floor 2 if it's unoccupied, or you can go to the cafeteria. Also, if you have an apartment, you can go there as well. Do not go AFK while on duty. That will be a 3-day ban, demotion, and funds reset. AFK is away from keyboard. You're not going to be, or do not be disrespectful to patients or colleagues. You will be immediately dismissed. Um, No combat fighting whatsoever. Break away and run. If you cannot break away and run, always do that /help, which is calling admin and then
Got it.
RP4.
Got it.
Okay, so these are going to be your desk roles. A max of 2 staff per desk in rank order. So it's going to be brown, maroon, blue, white, and green. Up to 3 may line down the hallway, also in the same rank. That's going to be, like I said, brown, maroon, blue, white, and green. Wait time protocol. So every time you step in that red circle in the med closet, that means you're restocking your meds. And there is a 15-minute increment wait on that. So if your wait time is over 5 minutes, you're going to go emergency calls or med deliveries. If it's under 5 minutes, you're welcome to wait in the cafeteria. The front door. So the front door, you cannot enter or exit to that door unless you wear a rank 6. So that's going to be your purple pants, purple dress, and then the front door or the front HP parking. You need to be a rank 7 or above. That's going to be your open coat, blue shirt. You will never spawn the bus. If you ever want to get that bus, you must have DCP or CP permission. Radio checks are mandatory. So up in the chat where you see all the macros, you're going to see something called a radio check sometimes. If you see that, you're just going to respond with this 10-4 copy macro. That just lets them know that you've seen that. If you are online and you do not throw up that 10-4 copy macro, 9 times out of 10, you will be repped. So that
Okay.
is only if you're online. If you're offline, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Those are our HP
Yes, I
rules. Do you have
do.
any
You
questions
say
after reading
there's
those?
4 ways you should not go there. You say
Yes, I
army
do.
base,
You say
territories,
there's four
game
ways you should
house,
not go
and
there.
what
You
was the
say
number 4?
army base, territory, gang house, and what was the number 4? So it's going to be your PvP territory areas around HP.
Oh,
So any street touching the hospital, you're not going to pick anybody up, and then your military base. Yeah. Now, like I don't. Yeah, you and
You
you
can
can't
only
be at gang
pick up
houses,
from
right, Miss
gang
K?
houses. You can only pick up from gang houses. But the thing about that is you are only allowed to pick up the patient and leave nobody after that because it can quickly become association and or they'll have you trapped in there picking people up also.
Okay.
And if it's safe to do so. Okay. Thank you, Miss K. Jillian, that's when
All
you're in the
right.
middle of an interview right now, sir.
All right.
Okay, so these are going to be your MD rules. MD1, refusal to provide medical assistance. Refusal to provide medical assistance, including performing CPR or giving meds without a justified RP reason, as long as there is no threat to the medic's life, including situations when armed players are present at the scene. Punishment, 1 reprimand from the faction leadership. MD2, providing medical aid during dangerous situations, selling medication or resuscitating players in situations that threaten the life and health of both the medic and the player, including but not limited to during an escalating conflict, an active shootout, a turf war, etc. Sorry, my washer is dinging. Punishment, 1 warning from the faction leadership. MD3, compliance with project rules. Medical personnel are required to comply with all established project rules. Punishment from 1 warning to 1 reprimand from the faction leadership. MD4, this washer is driving me crazy. Okay, it's to stop. Sorry. MD4, improper RP behavior. Failure to adhere to RP rules when interacting with players while providing medical assistance or communicating with faction colleagues. Punishment, 1 warning from the faction leadership. MD 4.1, disrespectful behavior. Disrespectful behavior towards any player. Punishment, 1 reprimand or dismissal at the discretion of the faction leadership. Our Chief Stitch, she does take that very seriously. So if you are disrespectful, especially towards colleagues and civilians, usually it is a dismissal. MD 4.2, noncompliance with orders. Failure to comply with leadership orders or to observe the chain of command within the faction. Punishment, 1 reprimand from the faction leadership. MD 4.3, assault on civilians. Assaulting civilians with a taser, weapon, or fists without an RP reason. Punishment, you will be immediately dismissed from the faction. MD 5, use of weapons. Medical personnel are strictly forbidden from using any weapons. Punishment, dismissal from the faction. MD6, criminal activity. Intentionally associating with gangs, committing major crimes like theft, vandalism, or murder, or joining factions during activities where medic participation is not intended. Punishment, dismissal from the faction. MD7, use of service vehicles for personal purposes. Using official medical transport for personal travel when not on duty, including for civilian jobs. Punishment, 1 warning from faction leadership. MD 7.1, use of personal vehicles. Using personal vehicles instead of service vehicles to perform faction duties, like CPR, for example. Punishment, 1 warning from the faction leadership. MD 8, unauthorized issuance of recovery notes, issuing medical certificates outside of a hospital, issuing medical certificates for monetary compensation. Punishment, 1 warning from the faction leadership. It's common sense. A warning will be just a verbal discussion between you and a faction leader, and then a reprimand would be a punishment issued by a faction leader. Once you get 3 of those, you are automatically dismissed. So those are those rules. Now I'm going to read you, let's see here, the RP rules. RP 13 to 16.
Yep.
Can you hear me okay? Sorry, I'm in the book. I can't see anything right now.
Yep.
Okay, so RP 13, NRP faction actions. Violating RP conduct within a faction, including the unwarranted release of prisoners from jail, punishment and dismissal from the faction, and or from 30 minutes in jail up to a 3-day ban. RP 14, sexual harassment. Any form of sexual action, including simulation and explicit dialogue or actions, the use of ethnic and or LGBT plus slurs, stalking other players, or excessive verbal detail and description of sexual undertones. All sexual actions between players must be performed with the prior consent of all participating individuals. Even with prior consent, such roleplay actions must not take place in public areas or frequently visited areas. So it's going to be like the jail, hospital, job zones, parking lots, etc. Punishment, 60 minutes mute, a voice and text chat, or an account ban ranging from 24 to 30 days. RP 15, provocation of faction members. provocation of faction members, intentionally provoking members of any faction for entertainment or with the intent to disrupt the faction's operations. Punishment 30 minutes in jail. RP 16, criminal acts against emergency personnel. Any criminal act committed against emergency medical personnel, punishment from 90 minutes in jail to a 12-hour account ban. So those are those rules. As of now, do you have any questions for any of us in the room?
No, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So I do have to ask you a series of 10 questions. To get started, why do you want to join the medical faction?
To help civilian.
Great answer. What qualities do you have to bring to this faction?
What do you mean?
So what do you have to bring to us? Are you reliable, or there's a lot of things I don't know what you're good at, but what are some good things you have personally that help with HP? Like, do you have any experience?
So the question is, what help you to like?
So the question
Sorry,
is,
so that was mistake. Like, what was the question?
Sorry, so that was mistake. Like, what was the question?
Oh, it's okay. We'll just skip that one. We'll go back to that.
Never.
What days of the week are you allowed to spawn the bus?
You say do not spend bus.
Never. You told me before. You say do not spend bus.
Okay, awesome. And then from what
6.
rank can you enter and exit to the front door?
6.
Awesome. Good memory. Couple more questions from me. Where are you not allowed to go pick players up
Army
at?
base, gang house, a territory around the hospital.
Gang house, a territory around the hospital.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can go to the gang houses. Just make sure the area is safe. You pick them up and then you immediately leave.
Sure.
Okay. Let me think of one other question. Okay, if you see me and Shiesty to my left over here, in a verbal altercation downstairs in the med closet,
what do you mean by this question? Like,
what do you mean by this question? Like,
so if you seen me and a Shiesty right here, arguing on floor 1 in front of patients, what would you do? Would you just walk away?
That's gonna be the wrong idea when I walk away. I'm gonna take both together and trying to ask you what's going on. And you gotta tell me why you guys are arguing for. And we're gonna start from the beginning to the end. And we're gonna say, whoever wrong, I will tell them to apologize. And that's gonna be safe.
I will tell them to apologize. And that's gonna be safe.
So you would try to see what's going on, try to de-escalate it. That's a good answer. One other thing you want to make sure you do is always have that body cam rolling. So you're screen recording on your phone and report that to a higher rank. Okay. That's all the questions for me. Mr. Shiesty, do you have any questions?
If you are on CPR runs, should you have your body cam on?
If you are on CPR 100.
Runs, should you have your body cam on? Yes, sir. Say like you're hanging out at the bar in your own and you're leaving the bar. Say like you're hanging out at the bar. Are you allowed to pick up people? And you're leaving the bar.
In a bar?
You seen the shooting going on? No, outside the bar, because there's a lot of shootings out
there.
Nah.
In a bar? If I'm not in delivery, so nah.
Because there's a lot of shootings out there.
If I'm not in delivery, so nah.
You want to say CPR runs, not med delivery, but yeah.
If I'm not in the CPR delivery, so I can.
If you're doing a med run, you
can't pick up anybody. If I'm not in the CPR delivery, so I can.
If you're doing a med run, you can't pick up anybody.
So only I'm doing it in the CPR delivery.
No. So only I'm doing it in the CPR delivery.
And you click emergency. Yes, sir. You're going to make sure your body cam on. Hold on 1 second. And you click emergency. I forgot which one it is. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that.
Emergency mode on.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I have for you today, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all I have. That's all I have for you today, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Yes.
Miss K, do you have any questions?
What do you have a goal in the faction?
What do you have a goal?
Yeah, I do. I need to help our civilian trying to hurt them, and make it like this all like trying to tell the directors be careful, don't argue with a civilian and trying to be cool, you know. I know a lot of civilian disrespectful, but do not be disrespectful.
Okay. So if you were on EMS runs and you got a call and you arrived on scene and you seen three people laying on the ground, one being the medic, one being who made the call, and the other being a police officer. In your opinion, who would you pick up first, and why?
Who I get the call?
Say it again.
I say who I get the call first.
You said who ordered the call first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, that'll be correct. We want to make sure that we take care of our patients first, and if it's safe. Even when it comes down to the officers, because a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, I'm an officer, pick me up," or "I'm gonna turn the body cam in." Yeah, we let them know at the Meet the Factions event that we are not allowed to do that if it's not safe. So yeah, keep that in mind. My next question would be, if you were to fall on floor one and you see your colleague being disrespectful, what would you do?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second word you said. Like, who gonna be disrespectful?
Your colleague, your coworker. If your coworker was being disrespectful to colleagues and to patients, and you seen it, what would you do?
Trying to come upstairs to the high rank person. This guy disrespectful, trying to tell them to be respectful to civilians.
Okay. So the first step would be to just turn your body cam on, and then you will want to warn them. As far as please be patient to. Please be kind to all patients and civilians. Colleagues. I'm sorry. And then if they are going back and forth with you and they continue to disrespect, then you want to report it.
Sure, I will do it. And that happened.
Yes, sir. It's a section in Discord that you're connected to. That's called Record and Report in the forums, and you can post your video there.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, that's good. That's all the questions that I have.
Like 3-4 times.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. K. You did a great job, and that will conclude your interview. Thank you so much.